Spo also often talks about feeding players through a fire hose, just a lot at once and you better be ready. What was it like going from your first taste of rotation minutes last game to your first start and just having to do it from the outset?
It happened fast, like you never know when's the chance coming, when's, now D-Mitch was out, and I just had to be ready every time they need me, and I'm trying to stay ready every time they need me.
You played 56 seconds of NBA ball until the last two nights. Sum up what the last two nights have been like for you.
I mean, I sleep at night. I don't know, nothing special.
And your three-point shooting, is that something where you got to your spot, your teammates found you, or are you just sort of getting a comfort zone to know where to be in this offense?
No, definitely the teammates found me pretty well. They were helping quite a lot. We had a lot of sprays. We could even use more. I think when we drafted the paint, we could use way more sprays and find us open shots. So yeah, the teammates found me.
You look comfortable at point guard. You look comfortable at the pace. You spoke to us how you did that a little bit in Sioux Falls and got used to it. Do you sort of feel like you're fitting right in what the team wants to do?
Yeah, I'm trying to execute whatever I'm asked for and try to do the best I can in that situation.
And we saw even in Summer League, the defense was there when there might have been questions. A bunch of Boston guys, especially through the first three periods, try to size you up and you stood your ground against them. What's it like going against this star-level talent, and how comfortable do you feel on the defensive end?
It's like a dream to compete against the best out of the best. Since I was little, I used to watch all the guys competing here, so I wanted to be the part of. And when I go out there, I'm just trying to give 100% every time.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, Cass. You're just getting comfortable and in a groove. How does it feel for you out there now, doing what you're doing on a nightly basis?
It feels good. I feel like that's what anyone would say, going out there and just doing what they do, being able to play basketball. So.
Is the comfort growing now out there as you put up these numbers and the way you're playing? Is there a greater sense of comfort maybe?
Yeah, I would say so. Just being, more comfortable out there, playing through the game, just playing through the flow. So.
What's it like out there when you're hanging close, and all of a sudden they hit 10 of 15 threes in the fourth, including Derek White banking one in? What's it like to be there when you're doing all you can and all of a sudden they're going crazy on threes?
That's just the game of basketball. That's just talent. Teams can hit a shot. They could have been us on the other end. Just started to spark that way, but went that way. So you just got to stay locked in mentally.
The three-point shooting. Always had that confidence? The shot's just coming down. Take us through your three-point night.
I feel like, I was more in a rhythm, so I felt comfortable just letting it go.
Coach said he doesn't want you hunting threes because he wants you below the basket. So what's that decision-making like on your part? When to step out, when to stay in?
Most of my game is up under the basket, so I feel like, whenever I do step out, I don't feel like it's much of a wrong time.
There's also a little bit more switching defense tonight, and you look comfortable there when you got on the switches. Is that something maybe that if you do get away from the drop, you will feel comfortable if, like Bam, you wind up switching more often?
Just getting more reps in with the, game reps, I would say, with the switches. So, just get more used to it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Bam, what's it like to fight the good fight through three quarters, be right there, and all of a sudden not only did they hit 10 of 15 threes in the fourth, but Derek White's banking one in there?
We gotta find that breakthrough moment. And we started off hot early in the season, but you get these shifts throughout the season where it feels like everything's not going your way, and we gotta find that breakthrough moment.
You talked about it a little last night. You guys are getting to the rim. You're getting point-blank shots that are just coming up short or being off, including you with a bunch of shots lately. What's happening there where you're getting to the shots you want and everything's just a little off at the rim?
I gotta figure it out. I don't know about anybody else, but me accepting accountability, I gotta be better. I'm gonna let my team down, and it's gonna shift. Like I said, it's gonna shift. I've been through these times before. A lot of guys go through it. We'll figure it out.
Look at a young kid like Kaz. Bo always talks about feeding young players through a fire hose. There can't be more of a fire hose than your first rotation minutes on a Thursday, your first start on a Friday. Just your thoughts on what the kid showed these last two nights.
Yeah, he's a fighter. He's a competitor. You can see it. You know, he wants to win. He wants to compete. He wants to get involved. And you love when young fellas are like that, when they have that type of mentality where, you know, they want to get in the fight. They want to be a part of it and do what it takes to win.
Your thoughts on Kel'el's play, what he showed with the threes now, and even just consistency now in consecutive games and building good days, like Coach says.
Yeah, just stack better days. You know, he's playing well. I feel like, you know, we start stacking some wins, then, you know, that's when the media really gets a hold of who he is.
Appreciate it. That's good. Sure. Was it as basic as they hit 10 of 15 threes in the fourth, or was there something you did that sort of opened the floodgates?
I mean, they were, you know, I thought the biggest turning point was our offense down at the end of the third quarter. You know, had a couple turnovers, 3 turnovers, just got away from what was being successful for us. And then they came down and hit 4 threes. At some point, you know, during that time, Simons hit 1, Hauser hit a couple. I think that was roughly around the time when Derek White banked 1. But, you know, for the most part, I think we were holding the fort, even as Jaylen Brown was starting to get to his spots and get 10 free throw attempts. You know, we're holding the fort, and I really thought we were in a great position. Once they hit those 4 threes and we had the 3 turnovers, you know, then, you know, it was almost if our minds went, because then we had a lot of mistakes that led to, you know, some of the open threes. They were just running different guys up into the pick and roll. A lot of times it was with Kel'el's man. That's okay. You know, I think, you know, he had a couple tough ones where they were able to get by him or score on him. That wasn't, I don't think, the issue. I think it was the issue was when we were making mistakes and it created confusion, and then they had open threes that just, you know, broke the game open, you know, from there. But they have that kind of firepower. You know, when they're missing threes in the first half, you always know that at any point, you know, it can turn for them, and it did, you know, at the right moment.
You talk about sometimes feeding young players through a fire hose. That can be more of a fire hose than what
Yeah.
Chris has had less do. Your thoughts on his performance tonight, Cass?
I really liked what he's done in the last 2 games and what he did, you know, in the 8 games, you know, in the G League. He gives us the energy, the pace. You know, he's fearless, and you know, in terms of his playmaking, you know, aggressiveness, getting into the paint. He's really improved his 3-point shooting. You know, so that was definitely a bright spot. With Davion being out, Cass got an opportunity, and he really played well. And there's a lot of stuff that's happening in a game like this. I was encouraged by that.
What's the level of concern with Davion and Andrew with their absences tonight and going forward?
We'll see. You know, they have different, you know, issues. Davion was warming up to see how he felt. It just wasn't good enough. I had that feeling with both of them in the walkthrough today. You know, with the back with Wiggs, you just have to see, you know, how he responds.
Kel'el's 3-pointers, is that something you're trying to weaponize, or it just comes out of the flow of the offense? And your thoughts on his 3-point stroke?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I want to be open, you know, to everything with this team this year. And like I said early on, I want there to be some surprises. You know, I watch him work, you know, so I see him knock down a bunch of shots. I don't want him hunting for the 3 because I like him head under the rim. But when it's a paint touch spray and, you know, it's a good quality look. I think he's gaining confidence, and I want to be open to that. And he certainly was effective from the 3 tonight.
You guys have had struggles at the rim. I mean, you're getting to the rim in the ball,
Yeah.
here, especially Bam. What's going on with that?
I don't know. You know, in the first half, you know, that easily could have been 12, 15-point lead. I liked that attack. I loved the pace that we played at, you know, through the first half. Jaylen Brown kind of slowed that pace, you know, by getting to the free throw line 10 times in the third quarter. For the most part, those were, you know, pretty good attempts. We just missed them. But I loved where we were. You know, we were shooting 33%. I think we were something like 9 for 28 inside the circle at halftime, and the game's tied. I loved where we were. I loved where we were, when Norm kicked it out to Cass to put us up by 7. I just thought we were playing and competing, with force, with intention, and doing the things that would put ourselves in a position to win. And I just think the 3 turnovers and the 4 threes just derailed us. And it's a teaching point. It really is a learning lesson for our team. I think the Knicks, what they did against San Antonio, it was a very similar situation. San Antonio was like knocking down a bunch of shots, and the Knicks just stayed the course and then put themselves in a position to win. That's what we're going to grow into, for sure.
Coach, you obviously spent time with Derek White. Just how much can he impact the game when he
And this guy's like I think he's the most underrated player in the league. The guy's an absolute winner, whatever role you put him in. Tonight, obviously, he showed that, he could be a scorer in all the different facets, from 3, pick and roll mistakes, taking one-on-one opportunities against, a perceived mismatch. But defensively, he just does so many things. I mean, there were a lot of opportunities we had in the paint. He stripped down. I think, he's the best shot blocking guard in the league. If you have all your talent out there like we had in USA basketball, he can just fit in, and find a way to make winning plays. And he certainly did that tonight. Thank you.
Eric.